Hey there, Nick Lee here from Pragmatic Works, coming at you again with another video all about Power BI. Well, this video, let's talk about golden data sets or one version of the truth types of data sets. So, what we have in Power BI that's available to us, that is a great practice, it's awesome to use. It's called utilizing a semantic model. Now, a semantic model is just a generic term. It is synonymous with a data set or data model. It's all the same thing. But specifically for Power BI, it is called a semantic model. And what you could do is you can create this semantic model inside Power BI, publish it to the cloud, and now this data set or this semantic model is accessible by anyone throughout your organization, and they can build reports off of this semantic model that exists. And this way, it leaves this model, this data set, in such a state that is easy to maintain. You may have to do refreshing on one data set rather than the same data set multiple times. Row level security is implemented across this. You can utilize this from a separate workspace. There's many benefits to utilizing the semantic model approach to have your one version of the truth. So let's jump into it and I'll show you guys what this is all about. All right, so first and foremost, here in Power BI, this is just an example data model that I have, or example report rather. And in this report is a data model. It contains several different tables, as you can see on the right side: a measures table, date, dimension, forecasted data, fact data, etc. Has all this stuff in here. And all this stuff is utilized within filter context to have, these slicers work, the measures all work, everything in here is working swimmingly, which leads us to believe that there is a data model with some relationships already built. So if I look at the model view, as you can see, there is a semantic model that's already in place and it's working as intended. So this is our semantic model. Now, in particular, what you see on the front end is the report, this slicer, this table that you see, this table visual. This is the report. On the underlying data set is the semantic model. The semantic model houses the data, the measures, the relationships, row level security, data set sensitivity. All of these items are contained within the semantic model, and the report is just the front end. When you publish a report to the cloud, it contains two items: a report and a semantic model. The report goes on top of the semantic model. So when you publish it, both of those go to the cloud. So what you could do throughout your organization is, of course, only with people that have access to it, obviously. But what you could do is have this semantic model stored in such a place where anyone could build reports off of it. Now, this way you could have an IT manage or an admin manage, business leader, project owner, whatever it may be, can kind of manage this data set. And then other people can just utilize it for self-service needs and build the reports that they need to off of it. With this, if I publish this to the cloud, let's see what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to hit publish on here. And do I want to save my changes? Yes, I do, because every time you hit publish, it's pretty much going to ask you that. And then it allows me to put this in a workspace of my choice. I could choose any of these workspaces. One thing that's important here is I don't want to store it in my workspace, because my workspace is a personal repository. It has no intention of being able to share items in it, whether it's a shared data set, shared semantic model, shared report, etc. So the most important thing is not storing it in there. And I'm just going to store this in, let me just pick one here. I'm going to pick the training workspace that I have. And I'm going to put this in there. And as you can see, it's currently publishing there. And in this process, once again, two things are happening. Both the report and the semantic model are being published to the cloud. So I'm going to open up my Power BI. Here it is. And if I go to my workspaces and I go to the training one, we're going to see this one for module 6G. You can see that it was just posted in here. That's just this example one that I chose to do. And as you can see on the screen under type, these are two things that are posted here. It is both a report and a semantic model. Two different things. If I click on the report, it is what you expected to see. It's that slicer, how I had it, the table visual, the measures, etc., all working within here. And if I go back to the workspaces training and look at it here, now I could see the semantic model. If I click on the semantic model, I see what I have access to is date, forecasted sales, blah, blah, blah. This kind of gives me some information on what's going on here. So now let's utilize this. All right, let's utilize this. So if I go back into Power BI and I open up a brand new version of Power BI, all right, so I'm just going to go to File, New, Blank Report. There it is. I'm going to open a brand new version, and I'm going to connect to this semantic model from this new report with no tables in it. As you can see on the right side of the data pane, there are absolutely 0 tables that are contained within here. So if I go up to the Get Data button and choose Power BI Semantic Models, you can see this tooltip says creates a live connection to a semantic model in the Power BI service, and that's exactly what I want to do. Now, keep in mind a live connection is its own connection type. It is different from import. It is different from direct query. It's a live connection. All right, and that's what gets utilized here. So if I choose Power BI Semantic Models, I have all these different semantic models are available to me. So if I go to Module 6G, the one I just posted, and hit Connect, wait for this to load here, and now I'm connected to the semantic model. Do note that even though I've connected to Module 6G as a semantic model, that slicer isn't here, that table visual isn't here, any bookmarks I created aren't here, etc. It is just the underlying data set, including the measures, including the relationships, and all the tables. If I look on the right side of the data pane, you can see all the tables are still here, all the measures are still here, everything is intended. But you know you have a live connection if you look on the far left side of the screen, and that table view isn't there anymore. It goes straight from report view to model view rather than report view, model view, table view. So if I click on the model view, notice it looks pretty much exactly the same with a slight difference. And the slight difference is now all the tables have blue on the top of them. A blue table kind of header here in the model view is indicative of basically saying it's a direct query or live query connection. That's what that means. So now we have this live connection to this data set, and I could build my own reports off of it, right? So if I just made a quick example here, I'm just going to throw up an example. I'm going to throw in maybe a year, and I want to show in forecasted sales versus total sales, okay? This is just a quick down and dirty example. Let me bump this text size up a little bit here. Font size, let's pump it up. There we go. All right, so this is my new report. Hypothetical scenario, I spent a lot of time connecting to this data set and made this report look pretty off this data set, etc. Now, when I publish to the cloud, if I hit publish, save, I'm going to call this, I don't know, semantic models. I'm going to hit save. And I could choose a workspace to publish this in. Now, this option, what I'm showing you right now, I could choose a workspace to publish this in, has a huge asterisk on it, okay? This asterisk is that in order to publish this report to a workspace that is not the one that the semantic model comes from, a specific setting needs to be utilized. And now this is a great setting, all right, guys? This setting is awesome. Highly recommend it, okay? So anyways, I'll show you guys that in a moment as a sidebar here. But anyway, so I could choose whatever I want to post it in. I could post it in the same workspace. I could post it in a separate workspace. Let's say I posted in the Pragmatic Works workspace and hit publish. And as it's posting here, open semantic models. Oh, let me just actually do this. I'm going to go to my workspaces. And now I could look at the different workspace that it resides in. And I could scroll down here and find it if it posts. Semantic, oh, there it is, semantic models. I didn't see it at first. So here's my report. Here it is. It works perfectly. Now, keep in mind, there is something particular to note here. If I go back to that workspace, the Pragmatic Works workspace, you could see when I posted this, a data set or a semantic model was not posted in tandem with it here in the service. It is its own separate entity, which is a report, and it did not also publish a semantic model. That's because the semantic model already exists in the cloud. And because it exists in the cloud, now, again, no maintenance. It's already there. It's already managed. This data set has, a refresh schedule already set up on it, hypothetically speaking. It has, row level security already implemented. It has gateway connections already configured. You know, if I needed any of those things, it would already be done because I'm connecting to an existing semantic model that's already been set up and ready for maintenance. So before I get into showing you guys the setting for making sure that this report is usable across multiple workspaces, or this semantic model rather is usable across multiple workspaces, I want to talk to you guys about a discount code that I have available for you for Pragmatic Works' on-demand learning platform. Our on-demand learning platform has over 100 courses available with several hundred hours worth of content. And in there consists stuff like Power BI, Excel, PowerPoint, Copilot, Power Automate, Power Apps, tons and tons of content, and way more than that too. That's just showing you a few things out the top of the dome here. But regardless, there's hundreds of hours available to you. There's also Cert XP, which is an amazing study tool. If you're looking to take any type of certification through Microsoft Learning or Pearson VUE, whatever have you, we have an amazing learning platform called Cert XP where it kind of gamifies the studying tool. We have videos that go along with it and make your life so much easier to take these exams. All right, it's really great. And I have a 40% discount code for you to access it. And that discount code is prag.works/Nick40. All right, prag.works/Nick40. Get your discount, get it for a great price, and send your learning to the next level. All right, all that being said, let's go ahead and jump to that setting I was talking to you guys about. So if I go up to the settings wheel on the top right, now in order to see this setting, you must be an admin or a Power BI admin, have Power BI admin role in the tenant. But if you want this setting enabled, you can also show your admins where it is so you can have it done. If I click on the admin portal, and if I just search here for semantic model, it's the easiest way to do it. It's under workspace settings. It's this setting right here that says use semantic model across workspaces. And what this allows you to do, like I said, is now you can connect to a semantic model that's stored anywhere on the service, whether it's, a workspace that you work in regularly, or it's a, endorsed datasets only managed by IT, whatever it is. If you want to utilize this feature across multiple workspaces, then this setting has to be enabled. So I just wanted to point that out for you guys on this. But all that being said, this is a great functionality. I highly recommend using semantic models. That way it, reduces maintenance, reduces workload, makes your self-service life easier as much as possible in your organization. And if you want to learn more, make sure to check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel and check out our on-demand learning platform where we have so much content available for you to learn. Once again, my name is Nick Lee, and it's been a pleasure.